Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to the channel. So my client got a Japanese straightener and now she deeply regrets it. Her curls are gone and she's stuck with two textures, but we're getting her curls back on track. So as I do her silk press today, let's talk about how to transition the right way. Okay, so let's dive in. Alright, so this is my client's hair before. As you can see, she has the curly roots and the straight ends. She is working with two completely different textures and we're just trying to grow her hair out. Like I said, she got a Japanese hair straightening treatment, and if you're unfamiliar, it is a permanent treatment. So unfortunately, those curls are not coming back. She really only has two options. One is to chop all the straight ends off and do a big chop, or two, grow her hair out and transition, and that's what she opted to do. So with that, let's dive into these tips that I shared with her. Alright, so after a good clarifying shampoo to get everything off of her hair and scalp, I'm going in with an Olaplex treatment. Now, if you're not entirely familiar with Olaplex treatments, it is a bond building treatment, meaning it's going to strengthen your hair from the inside out. Now, a treatment like this is so important for my client because Japanese hair straighteners, and much like relaxers, they break down the disulfide bonds in your hair. And those are the ones that are responsible for your curl pattern and your hair strand strength. So that means it just weakens the hair structure at a deep level. And once the disulfide bonds are broken, they cannot be reversed. This is why the curl pattern is permanently altered with Japanese straighteners and relaxers. An Olaplex treatment helps by relinking and strengthening any internal bonds that are left in the hair. Now, this doesn't reverse the straightening, but it will help reinforce the hair structure to reduce further damage and breakage. An Olaplex treatment will also help strengthen that line of demarcation. That's that fragile spot where your straight hair and curly hair meet, and it is prone to snapping. A Olaplex treatment will help strengthen that weak point, making the hair less likely to break during washing, detangling, or styling. And to help support an Olaplex treatment, I love to pair it with a hair steamer. Now, a hair steamer is so important when you're transitioning because it's going to help boost the moisture retention. The steam opens up the hair cuticles so deep conditioners and treatments can better penetrate the hair. Steam also keeps the hair and that line of demarcation supple and elastic. This helps reduce snapping and shedding over time. Alright, so after she's done steaming with that Olaplex treatment, I'm going in with the moisture shampoo. Since we're working with two textures, the moisture shampoo will keep her hair soft and hydrated without weighing it down. It's super gentle and has coconut milk for breakage and helps protect those fragile ends while her curls grow back in. And what I love about it is that even though it's a thicker, richer, creamier shampoo, it thoroughly cleanses the hair and doesn't leave behind an oily residue. And that's so important because if your hair is not thoroughly washed, it's just going to allow buildup to accumulate on your hair, and that causes dryness, and dryness always leads to breakage. So you want a shampoo that's going to thoroughly clean your hair but also leave it moisturized, and that's why I love opting for the moisture shampoo. Alright, so after rinsing out her shampoo, I'm going in with the deep repair treatment, and this is the deep conditioner of the line. Now, what's so special about the deep repair treatment is that it strengthens and moisturizes all at the same time. And that's because it contains keratin protein, which is a natural protein found in our hair. When you're growing out chemical straighteners or heat damage, your hair is usually keratin depleted. So using a deep conditioner with keratin in it will usually help maintain and strengthen your curl pattern, prevent excessive breakage, especially at the line of demarcation, and support healthy regrowth. And what my clients love about the deep repair treatment is that it is so moisturizing without weighing the hair down. It's great for even my finer hair textures. It provides great slip when detangling and keeps your hair noticeably softer after. Alright, to prep my client's hair for her blow dry, I'm going in with the Emergency Miracle treatment, which is the leave-in conditioner of the line. Now, no matter what hairstyle you do, I always say go in with a leave-in conditioner first. And that's because a leave-in conditioner is going to make sure your hair is moisturized for longer. And when your hair is moisturized, styling your hair is much easier and your styles last longer. And when you're transitioning from chemical treatments or heat damage, your hair tends to lean on the dry side, so you never want to skip a leave-in conditioner. Alright, and for added heat protection, I'm going in with Lite, which is my blow dry cream. Now, using a blow dry cream is so important because it will keep your hair moisturized and soft after a blowout. We all know that a blowout can leave your hair feeling so dry and crunchy, but you do not get that with a blow dry cream because it is a cream. It has that moisture content, and that's going to keep your hair soft and silky after using your blow dryer. And lastly, to seal in all the moisture and for added heat protection, I'm going in with the amethyst oil. The amethyst oil is so great because it's lightweight, meaning it's going to seep into the hair and not sit on top. This is going to prevent buildup so that your hair doesn't dry out and break off later on. Alright, so as I blow dry my client's hair, let's actually get into why I sometimes recommend straightening your hair when you are transitioning. Now, I know that sounds like a hot take, but wearing your curly hair straight, whether it's blown out or silk pressed during your transition, can actually help manage the process more smoothly, as long as it's done carefully to avoid heat damage. One reason why straightening your hair can help while you transition is that it blends your two textures together. When you're transitioning, you have curly roots and straight ends. When you straighten your hair, it temporarily unifies your hair textures, so you're only working with one texture, and it makes your hair look more consistent and feel easier to manage. When you straighten your transitioning hair, it also makes detangling much easier. When you have curly roots and straight ends, they tend to tangle easily. So straightening your hair will help stretch your strands, and this reduces knotting, and that makes it easier to tangle your hair without seeing breakage. And lastly, straightening your hair while you're transitioning teaches you to respect heat. If you're careful, you'll learn how to use heat responsibly. By using a heat protectant, low temperatures, and limiting your frequency, you can help maintain the health of your growing curls. My clients and I have actually been able to grow our hair out while heat styling on a consistent basis. Some people do it bi-weekly. I've been able to do it weekly and still see hair growth. So don't be afraid of heat. Alright, so after her blow dry, of course I'm going in and giving her a trim. Now, my client wants to preserve as much length as she can while she's transitioning, so I'm going in and I'm just taking off any damage that I see, and then I'm going to go in and give her some layers so that she can have some shaping and we could really dive into every hair. Now, when you trim transitioning hair straightened, it's actually much easier to see the line of demarcation and trim off damage in a more controlled way. This way we can give her mini chops instead of one big chop. Alright, so after her trim, I'm going back in with the amethyst oil for some heat protection for this flat iron. Now, a pro tip is to make sure that you go in with a blow dry cream before your blow dry so that you keep your hair nice and soft and moisturized, and then an oil or serum before a flat iron to make sure that your hair is silky and shiny afterward. Alright, so as I flat iron my client's hair, let's dive into a quick and easy weekly regimen for transitioning hair. Alright, when your hair is transitioning, you want to make sure that you're keeping your hair moisturized by washing it weekly or bi-weekly and deep conditioning every time. This makes sure that your hair doesn't dry out because dryness always leads to breakage. So you don't want to give your hair a chance to get parched. You always want to make sure it's hydrated, and that's by washing it. When you're dealing with transitioning hair, you always want to make sure that you use a leave-in conditioner before any style you do, whether it's curly or straight. And that's because this is going to keep your hair moisturized for longer and also prevent breakage. And lastly, while your hair is transitioning, you always want to make sure that you opt for low manipulation styles rather than going in and out of protective styles. And that's because low manipulation styles allows you to still protect your hair and keep it from friction and breakage, but you're also able to still wash and maintain your hair. When your hair is in protective styles, you don't normally wash it often or give it hydration. And when your hair is transitioning, it is so fragile, so you don't want it to dry out and break off. So you want to make sure that you're allowing yourself styles that, yes, you can tuck your hair away, but then you also want to keep your hair hydrated for the health, especially if you're trying to grow your hair out. Alright y'all, and here are the final results. Although her hair is transitioning, it doesn't have to look unhealthy. Her hair still looks moisturized, shiny, and healthy, and that is what's going to help her as she grows her hair out. If she maintains the tips that we talked about today, then as her hair grows out, it's going to remain strong and manageable. It's going to take some time to transition back to her curly hair, but as she does it, she will learn to have a better relationship with her hair and understand the products she needs for it as well. So this way, once she does have her curls back, she's not starting from scratch. She knows exactly what she needs to do to maintain her hair. If you want to learn how to become a straight natural and avoid heat damage, then you want to check out this upcoming video. Until then, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!